Do you own an Intel Mac? And did you wish you could upgrade? Well, this is trash. Let's talk about which are the best alternatives for your Intel Mac. Obviously, I'm joking, I'm not throwing away this perfectly good Mac, but keep in mind, we are in 2024, and these Intel machines have been outdated for 5 years now. So I think it has passed enough time for us to decide if Apple Silicon was worth it or not. It has been like 5 years since the Apple Silicon first computer came out with the M1 MacBook Air, M1 Mac Mini, and M1 MacBook Pro. And yeah, I think that since 2020, when we first got those computers, the decision was made. Apple Silicon is so much better than Intel machines that I think that people that still use these Intel computers, it's not by choice. So yes, if you have an Intel Mac right now and you are undecided for which computer should you buy in 2024, you don't know Apple's scheme, you don't know Apple's Silicon best advantages and its downsides, and you especially don't know which are the best value computers in this lineup. So in today's video, I will help you out decide which computer is right for you, which computer should you buy, if you should buy new, if you should buy used, and especially which computer and which line of computers are right for you. So drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. If you love this Mac content, follow my channel because you will love it. Thank you guys for watching. Roll the intro. So to represent the Intel machines, this is the worst MacBook ever made, in my opinion. And I've made a video about this computer in my channel, so if you want to see it, go check it out. I think it's pretty fun, I think it's right there. And yeah, this machine was terrible. The keyboard was terrible, the display died by itself, and the battery life was trash, it had issues, the Intel chip inside overheated, this computer thermally throttled very easily. So this generation was plagued with problems, and then on top of that, it removed all of the ports, just keeping USB-C. This computer even did not have the touch bar, which was the only positive side of this generation. So yes, to talk about my Intel experience on the Mac, I've used the worst MacBook ever. But since then, I've switched for my M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch in 2021, and it was my best decision that I've ever made. Again, in 2021, I switched to Apple Silicon, and I'm very, very happy. So now, you that are watching this video and thinking, should I upgrade for Apple Silicon? Well, the big answer is, you should. Please, upgrade as fast as possible, because your life improvement will be huge. The battery life, the performance, the efficiency, the thinness, everything on these computers is so much better than the Intel machines. And of course, if you love macOS, you won't have any downsides. The only visible downside of Apple Silicon is obviously the fact that you cannot use Windows on it on a native form. So these old Intel machines, you could download Boot Camp and put the Windows 10 or 11 Boot Camp here. Now, with Apple Silicon, you are not able to do it. So on Apple Silicon, if you do really need to use a Windows machine, then you have to install a parallel desktop device. This is an app that allows you to run Windows on a virtual machine. I mean, it's good enough, and it resolves the issue. But macOS is just plain better, and if you need Windows on a pinch, you can do it on a virtual machine. I don't see this as a big deal breaker. Again, it's something that you need to decide. But as far as which machines should you buy, well, that's a different conversation. So, starting off for the biggest decision of them all. Do I need a desktop? Do I need a laptop? If you currently have a laptop, then I strongly recommend you to get another laptop. Once you get used to having a laptop, you never want to go back. And the first laptop that I recommend for everyone is the M1 MacBook Air. The M1 MacBook Air is the base laptop machine you should buy in the Apple Silicon lineup. Yes, it has been killed. It has been discontinued now. But the thing about the M1 MacBook Air is that it never dies. And you can still buy it on Amazon, Best Buy, or other stores that still sell it. In Best Buy, and I think in Walmart, you can find this computer for $700, $600. Incredible. You get the same MacBook Air design from 2019, very, very thin, very portable. It has 2 USB-C ports, 1 headphone jack. You still have a Retina display, an aluminum case, the incredible new Magic Keyboard, the incredible trackpad, which is also Force Touch. You get an incredible speaker system for the size of the computer, and you get the amazing M1 chip. With that comes amazing efficiency with around 18 hours of battery life. Insane, insane for a computer that small and that portable. And that computer, on top of all that, still outperforms almost all of the Intel machines out there. So if you want to use, I don't know, maybe Final Cut Pro or 3D rendering, you can still do it on the M1 MacBook Air, which is quite crazy for a $600, $700 machine that you can buy new. If you can buy it used or refurbished, you can find it for $450, $500 on eBay, which is insane value for a laptop that good. So the M1 MacBook Air, in my opinion, is the base model that everyone should consider. If you can get by with an M1 MacBook Air, there's no need to buy another computer. So my first and biggest recommendation for everyone switching from Intel Macs to Apple Silicon Macs is obviously the M1 MacBook Air. Super cheap, super portable, but most of all, the best value Mac in 2024. Yes, this is the cheapest option, which also actually is the best value one. Yes, the M1 MacBook Air is a great choice, but there are also different choices. For example, the M2 MacBook Air and M3 MacBook Airs, they are very close. They have the new MacBook Air design, and they are gorgeous to look at. The smaller bezel display, the new notch design, the new design overall, which is less sharp, but more rounded off. It's more comfortable. It still has MagSafe, which actually saves you one USB-C port, still has the Magic Keyboard, has the M2 chip and the M3 chip. The M2 is faster than the M1 about 20%, and the M3 is faster than the M2 about 15%. The M3 has way more GPU power and supports ray tracing, while the M2 is between the M1 and the M3. The M2 has a more powerful CPU than the M1. It's noticeable, but in terms of GPU, is way less powerful than the M3 GPU. So yeah, the differences between these two computers in terms of price is only $100. I would say that if you are looking to buy a new M2 or M3 machine from Apple, go for the M3. Those extra $100 will serve you right. For a better GPU, for a little bit long-lasting machine, I would say 1 year more, and yeah, you are going to buy the new M3 MacBook Air. But on the MacBook Air lineup, there are two computers, the 13-inch and the 15-inch. And things get interesting here, because you have the choice of size. For the first time ever on the MacBook lineup, we have two sizes of the same computer, not on the MacBook Pro lineup. Yes, the MacBook Air now has two sizes, the 13-inch and the 15-inch. The 13-inch comes with the M2 and M3 chips. You can decide between those two if you want to save $100 or if you want to pay a bit extra to get a better chip. But the 15-inch computer only comes with the M3 chip. And here things become very interesting, because the M3 MacBook Air 15-inch is a computer that I cannot explain. I cannot give you facts about it. I don't know why. This computer, for the time that I've used it, I've used the M2 MacBook Air 15-inch in July. It was so hard to review, because in one side, I thought it was a terrible value. It costs almost the same as the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3. If you upgrade it, it costs almost the same as the M3 Pro MacBook Pro, not the M3, the M3 Pro 14-inch. And so I thought it was too expensive for what it was, a MacBook Air. But when I was using it throughout my review, my 2 weeks of review, this machine changed my mind. Everything was different. It was so portable, so lightweight, so thin, so perfect. It did not need more than that. I actually felt that I did not need more performance than that. The form factor was perfect. The 15-inch size display was perfect. Did not need anything bigger. The form factor was simply amazing, and it changed my mind on it. It's something that you need to use the computer to fall in love with it, to describe how good it is. I cannot pass you through these emotions. I cannot explain you how good the computer experience was. So if you like mid-sized computers, mid to bigger sized computers, you don't need that much of a performance side, you don't need the HDMI port and the SD card slot, I think that you should go for the 15-inch computer. I cannot explain you why. I think that this computer, in terms of clear facts, is not the best, and on the spec sheet, it also does not win, but my 2-week experience with it was so good that I need to recommend it. So if you want a mid to big size computer, I do believe that the 15-inch MacBook Air is a great option. Keep in mind, you are coming from an Intel Mac, so if you still have an Intel Mac in 2024, it's because you don't really care about performance. You don't really care about very high performance laptop machines. And so you still use it day to day. The Intel Mac serves you well, but now the battery life is a bit trash. Now everything is a bit slow and you decide to go to buy a new Mac. And now you are looking for a Apple Silicon. If that's the case, then I do not recommend you going more than the 15-inch MacBook Air. I think that over that, it's too expensive. It's too powerful. You don't need it. The only exception would be the M3 MacBook Pro, especially the base model. Not the upgraded versions, no, just the base model, the 8GB base model. More than that, it's almost $2,000 and For a person that actually still can use an Intel machine, you don't really need more than $1,500 computer from Apple lineup right now. Apple Silicon is so fast, so powerful, and so efficient that spending more than $1,500 for the average Joe is just wasting money. So yes, if you are still using an Intel Mac and you are deciding to upgrade, I don't think you should upgrade more than the 15-inch MacBook Air. But if you still want my advice on the MacBook Pro lineup, well, I'll give it to you. The M1 MacBook Air is the best value machine. But in the MacBook Pro lineup, things get a bit different. I do believe that the M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro at $1,700 is the best value performance computer on the market right now. You can get an M1 Max machine with a 16-inch display for around $1,800, which is about the same price as the M3 MacBook Pro. Yes, not the M3 Pro, not the M3 Max, no, the M3 MacBook Pro, which is kind of insane because the M1 Max chip is super powerful, the GPU is insane, 32 GPU cores, still has 32 gigabytes of RAM, still has every single perk of the new design of the M3 generation of the MacBook Pros, and on top of that, costs half the price. So, in terms of value, if you want the best value performance Mac in 2024, I do believe the older generation from 2021, the M1 Max, is also a great value. If you want to save a bit of money on this value side of the performance Mac, the M1 Pro will be also a great option. But the M1 Max gives you more GPU performance, it equalizes more with the most recent CPUs and GPUs, and so for only half the price of the newer generation M3 Max is a great choice. So if you are looking to upgrade from an Intel machine, I don't think it's worth it to upgrade from the M3 Pro on the M3 Max onward, because these two machines and these two models are just simply too expensive. They start at $2,000, they can get up to $78,000, which is just kind of crazy, and they are too much powerful for most people. If you still have and you still use an Intel Mac right now, it's because I don't need to upgrade, and it's because everything is perfect in terms of performance, or at least somewhat perfect. You don't need a very high performance machine. If that's the case, then settle for the MacBook Air or even the base model MacBook Pro lineup. Do not go forward than that. Again, I'm a YouTuber, I use the M1 Max machine, I've edited all my videos for the last 2 years on this machine and I've had no issues. If I can do it, you can also. So yeah, I do believe if you are still using an Intel Mac in 2024, the best value computers for you are as it says, the M1 MacBook Air, a base model M2 MacBook Air refurbished, and of course, if you are willing to spend a bit more money than that and you need more performance, on the performance side of the Mac, the M1 Max MacBook Pro is a great option. The M1 Pro is also a great option. You need to decide if you want more GPU or less GPU. Other than that, I think you are wasting your money. Of course, this all differs. If you want a desktop, this all differs if you have a limited budget of $1,000. That's the case, then only the M1 MacBook Air and the M2 MacBook Air, you need to go to the store and try them out. At the end of the day, it's personal preference. But if you want my opinion, I think you will be just fine using an M1 MacBook Air. Or maybe you think that design is too old, you want to spice things up, maybe go for the M3 MacBook Air base model new from Apple, or try to find an M2 MacBook Air refurbished on Apple Store. So these are my recommendations for the MacBook lineup for the computers you should get. Of course, if you want a desktop, things are different. You have the Mac Studio, the Mac Mini, and of course the iMac. But that's for another video. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. This has been TechSummer talking to you here. Bye bye.